Campaign Watch. First tonight in our news at 7, is election excitement starting early this year? Both the current and former MP for Elizabeth confident they'll take the win when the time comes to cast ballots. Hear why one of them says it's all hype. And should American citizenship be a birthright? We'll tell you how Bahamian Americans in South Florida are feeling after President Trump's executive order on the issue. Plus, why the National Security Chief says his ministry has no issue with increased U.S. patrols between the Bahamas and South Florida. Then in our news at 7:30, hero at 16. Meet the teenager who rushes to the rescue after a car crash. Hear how this young hero saved a woman's life and why he didn't hesitate to act. All that and more. Our news live at 7 starts now. Welcome to Our News Live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Marlena Leonard, in for Candino Knowles. It seems the election talk is starting early this year as Elizabeth Member of Parliament JoBeth Colby-Davis is confident she will regain her seat. At a branch meeting, she called out former Elizabeth MP Dr. Dwayne Sands for, quote, handling her name, warning that Elizabeth is staying with the PLP. Meanwhile, Dr. Sands says it's all just hype. Berthany McDermott has more.
The last time he handled my name, I had to show him better than I could tell him. I remember when he was on the nose, I hit woman, but she can take a beating. Who take the beating?
It's the video that's gone viral in less than 24 hours. At a Progressive Liberal Party branch meeting at Doris Johnson Senior High School, Elizabeth Member of Parliament JoBeth Colby-Davis levied a direct attack on former MP and FNM Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands, saying Elizabeth is staying with the PLP. But Sands says residents are saying something else.
Don't mind all the hype. It is only hype. I think the Progressive Liberal Party and its leadership ought to take stock in the fact that they are bleeding support all over the country.
In the viral video, Colby-Davis laid out her list of accomplishments, including houses built while she served as housing minister, taxi and livery plate distributions, and lowering the cost of power bills.
I beat you when no one knew me. I beat you when I had much record to stand on. That's when I beat you.
In the 2021 general election, Colby-Davis won by 377 votes, with 1,893 votes in total. Sands came in second with 1,516 votes. While Colby-Davis seems confident she will retain her seat, Sands is saying otherwise.
It's not my opinion, but the opinions of the people that live in Elizabeth. And I want to remind the minister that Elizabeth is bigger than Elizabeth Estates. And certainly what we are hearing as we canvass the communities is that, no, not much has been done. As we saw in 2017, and as we're seeing now, there are disgruntled supporters of the Progressive Liberal Party that are saying, Dr. Sands, come talk to me, because we're tired of this crew.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
As President Donald Trump continues to roll out his immigration crackdown, one of the executive orders many Bahamians have their eye on is the one moving to end birthright citizenship. But how are Bahamian Americans in South Florida feeling about it all?
A lot of diaspora, a lot of uncertainty. People just don't know what's going to happen.
Born and raised in Grand Bahama, sonless Martin has been living in South Florida for his entire adult life, taking an active role in public policy in the past, often acting as a liaison between local and federal government in his work. When asked how President Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship to babies born in the U.S. unless their parents are citizens or legal residents might impact the Bahamians who schedule family planning around this benefit, Martin says,
a lot of what has been proposed will be stuck in port as of right now. So nothing officially has been implemented. I mean, he made some executive orders. He signed some executive orders. So, of course, that'll take time to actually implement. So until that happened, then we have a better and a clearer picture on how we could move forward.
And he says the positive impact of Bahamians in Florida shouldn't be underestimated.
Bahamians has contributed significantly to the development of Miami and South Florida as a whole. Not knowing exactly what's going to take place with these different orders. So what certainly look different, but I know one of the most important things would be the economic impact severely, because the Bahamians spend quite a bit as it relates to retail. They do a lot of their shopping there for goods and different products here, through the various stores. So I know in that standpoint, I know it'll certainly take a significant hit as it relates to the economy, economically.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard. National Security Minister Wayne Monroe says his ministry has no issue with the executive order signed by United States President Donald Trump that will increase U.S. Coast Guard patrol in key areas, including the border between the Bahamas and South Florida. Trump immediately directing cutters, aircraft, boats, and other specialized forces to guard against illegal immigration. When it comes to the country, Monroe says it allows the Royal Bahamas Defense Force to place more attention elsewhere.
The Bahamas Defense Force cooperates with the Coast Guard in the patrols. If the Coast Guard increases, for instance, its presence between the northern Bahamas and the U.S., there would be very little reason for duplication of those efforts, and we may well be able to direct the maritime assets elsewhere. But the Royal Bahamas Defense Force cooperates closely with the Coast Guard in our efforts to, one, interdict migration, drugs and weapons trafficking.
It's been no secret over the years that our waters have served as the passageway for illegal migration and human smuggling to the United States, particularly as a gateway for illegal migrants from Haiti to come into country. Monroe says things have gotten better recently, but they're still monitoring.
The first issue arose with the deterioration of conditions in Haiti, and the decision was made to up a blockade from the migrants flow from the south. They've been cooperating from that time to now. There have been changes in migrant flow. So, for instance, they changed, instead of flowing through the Bahamas, flowing along our southern borders and up the western side of the country directly to Florida. And so the Coast Guard, the Defense Force, closely monitors these changes in behavior, and they place their assets where necessary to respond to the changes.
President Donald Trump wasting no time in fulfilling one of his key campaign promises, securing the American border and planned mass deportation of undocumented migrants. It was a key election issue that helped to push the second-term president ahead in the vote. Our Jerome Sawyer speaking with a few Bahamians about this and other policies of the new administration while attending the inauguration of the new president in Washington this week.
It was a feat few Republican candidates ever achieved.
To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come.
Minority voters turned out in unprecedented numbers for Trump in November. No surprise for Bahamian D.C. native Lavelle Saunders.
A lot of the issues that the Democrats had, whether it's around, different rights and opportunities and the DE&I program, really pissed a lot of people off. And you would think that it wouldn't, because those programs benefit especially people of color.
Exit polling confirmed the growing migration crisis helped to swing voters in favor of President Trump. One of his first executive orders halted the federal Diversity, Equity and Inclusion program. It's among the litany of changes swept in by the new administration.
A lot of concern for some of the policies that's in place. How much it will impact me, I'm not sure. The reason why I say that is because I've worked hard. I have really good credentials when it comes to my experience, my education, and the opportunities that come my way. And so I think for the most part, there are a lot of good things that could come out of this for me.
For the last 40 years, Dr. Bert Williams has lived in the D.C., Maryland area. As a student and now physician, he's a product of legal migration.
I feel that if you're trying to access the country, I think it's no more than right to do it through the proper channels. Immigration is not a crime. The crime is if somebody tries to immigrate without doing it the appropriate way.
With few surprises, the Trump administration wasted no time in putting many of the plans and promises into play made on the campaign trail. The rest of the world, the Bahamas included, is in a watch, wait, and see pattern, eagerly anticipating what the effects will be beyond the American borders. In Washington, reporting for Our News, I'm Jerome Sawyer.
Thanks, Jerome. Well, a Bahamian man and two visitors are behind bars tonight. They're being questioned in connection with the stabbing of a Canadian man early this morning. Investigators in Grand Bahamas say the incident unfolded around 1 a.m. at a business on Kings Road. That's where officers found a 32-year-old male visitor from Canada who'd been stabbed in the lower body during a fight. A 31-year-old American man, a 51-year-old British man, and a 27-year-old Grand Bahama man were all arrested. The victim was taken to hospital where he is expected to make a full recovery. And a 39-year-old man accused of the first murder of the year is behind bars. Latario Missick faced charges of murder and attempted murder when he made his first appearance before Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley. Prosecutors say Missick shot his stepson, Rashad Sweeting, and attempted to murder Douglas Clear and Rashad Seymour as a result of a property dispute. The charges stem from a shooting in Big Pond on January 18, 2025. Prosecutors say the men were standing in front of Sweeting's grandmother's home when a gunman opened fire on them. Missick didn't have to enter pleas to the charges and was denied bail. He returns to court on April 24th to receive voluntary bill of indictment papers. Well, it's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg?
Thanks, Marlena. Happy TGI for everybody. We had a frontal boundary that pushed through the capital earlier, and that front is now into the central Bahamas. Some cool air mass now moving in. Low 70s is what we have on the outside right now in the partly cloudy skies, and it is breezy. The wind's out of the northwest at 17 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is 70 degrees. Temperatures right now across the northwest Bahamas, 66 in Freeport, 63 in Alistown, Bimini. Over in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, we pick up 70. 71s in Nicholstown, Andros, Great Harbor Key, Governor's Harbor, 73. Central Bahamas, 72 in Kemps Bay, Arthurstown, Cat Island, 73 in Georgetown, that's in the Exumas. Coburn Towns in Salvador, 74, 75 in Deadman's Key, Long Island, and into the southeast Bahamas. 76, Duncantown, Ragged Island, Colonel Hill, that's in Crooked Island, Delectable Bay, Ackland, 77, 77 in Abrahams Bay. Matthewtown, Inagua, 79 in our very good neighbors to the southeast, Turks and Caicos Islands. You have a temperature right now of 78. Satellite radar composite, frontal boundary now pushing into the central Bahamas. Still some moisture behind that plaguing the northwest Bahamas, so we're looking at some partly cloudy to cloudy skies. Some high-level clouds moving across the southern portion of Florida with some isolated showers moving along that area. We could see one or two spotty showers tonight, but the cool air mass and the windy conditions will be in place. That's going to make it feel even cooler for the weekend. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, Danielle Miller takes us to the star-studded official opening of the John Batiste Jazz Club at Bahamar.
Coming up in sports, the country gets ready to host Window 3 of FIBA America Cup qualification and a big weekend for UB Athletics.
Escape high prices when you shop the specials at Super Value.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Unleash resilience. Secure the digital future. Navigate the evolving landscape of cyber threats. The future will be secured. Presenting the Alive Business Cybersecurity Conference. Securing the future. Navigating cyber challenges in business. Thursday, February 20th, 2025. Atlantis Paradise.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. The Bahamas senior men's national basketball team is set to return to the court next month, this time with FIBA America Cup 2025 qualification on the line. Up first will be what Federation executives are calling a must-win game against Cuba in Group D on Thursday, February 20th at 8:40 p.m. In Game 2, the Bahamas faces the United States Sunday, February 23rd at 7:10 p.m. Both games will be hosted at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium. Tickets for next month's games are currently on sale. Follow the BBF social media pages for prompts on how you can get yours today. The Bahamas heads into the final window with a 1-3 record. Their lone win of the qualifiers thus far was an 88-77 win in the first window against Puerto Rico.
UB Athletics pick up a pair of wins on the volleyball court and on the soccer pitch.
The Mingos continued their women's volleyball showcase with a 3-set sweep over the Midnight Aces. UB won the match 25-12, 26-24, and 25-20 at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium. The Mingos got their first win of the showcase and are now 1-3. Leading the way for UB was Miracle Stubbs with 11 attacking points and 10 of her team's 30 kills. In soccer, the Mingos came out of the Christmas break with a 7-0 win over Cavalier FC at the Roscoe Davies soccer fields. Midfielder Kevin Thomas led UB with a hat-trick. Philip Pilgrim, Ronaldo Green, Elijah Mitchell, and Marlon Barnes also scored goals, while goalkeeper Antonio Beckford kept the clean sheet. UB is now 6-2 in the BFA Men's League standings.
That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as the murder charge is upheld for a suspect in the 1996 killing of Tupac Shakur. Plus, just hours before President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration, Bitcoin sees a major surge, Trump promising to turn the U.S. into the crypto capital of the world. And 17 Colombians appear in the Court of Appeal in Port-au-Prince accused in the 2021 plot to kill Haitian President Jovenel Moïse. We have the details when our news returns.
Unleash resilience. Secure the digital future. Navigate the evolving landscape of cyber threats. The future will be secured. Presenting the Alive Business Cybersecurity Conference. Securing the future. Navigating cyber challenges in business. Thursday, February 20th, 2025. Atlantis, Paradise Island. Register today. This is how we unleash resilience. This is how we create innovation. Together, let's secure the digital future.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. The only suspect ever charged in the 1996 killing of Tupac Shakur, Dwayne Keefe Davis, has lost his bid to have the case dismissed. A judge ruled Tuesday that Davis failed to provide proof of any immunity deals, stating Nevada authorities never offered him one. Davis's lawyer argued the 27-year delay in prosecution violates his rights, calling it egregious. Prosecutors countered that Davis has no evidence of immunity agreements and pointed to his own admissions in a 2019 memoir about orchestrating the shooting near the Las Vegas Strip. Now 61, Davis has pleaded not guilty and is set to go to trial on March 17th. Bitcoin saw a major surge, climbing over $109,000 just hours before President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration. Cryptocurrency industry insiders say they're optimistic about his upcoming actions to support digital currencies. Trump, who was once skeptical about Bitcoin, has now embraced it, promising to turn the U.S. into the crypto capital of the world. Trump has outlined plans for crypto-friendly regulations, a U.S. crypto stockpile, and a crypto czar to lead the charge. And a historic snowstorm has struck the U.S. Gulf Coast on Tuesday, bringing snow to areas of North Florida, including Panama City, where residents were stunned by flurries along the beach. The storm prompted Governor Ron DeSantis to declare a state of emergency as schools closed and businesses shut down. The snowstorm is shattering records, with the region seeing snowfall levels not seen in over a century. And 17 Colombians accused in the 2021 plot to kill Haitian President Jovenel Moïse appeared in the Court of Appeal in Port-au-Prince on Monday. However, the hearing was postponed due to the absence of 2 Haitian suspects who escaped prison in 2023. This marks the second court appearance for the Colombians after years of delays, including the retirement of the original judge. The assassination put Haiti into deeper turmoil as gang violence continues to plague the island nation. Still to come in our news, Today in History. Find out interesting facts about the day that was January 24th. And then in our news at 7:30, get to know 16-year-old Michael Ferguson, the teen hero who helped rescue a woman from an overturned vehicle. Find out why he says he didn't think twice before stepping into action. And why straw vendors in Grand Bahama claim the reduced schedule of a cruise ship has taken a toll on their livelihoods. That's coming up when our news returns.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the lives. Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me at Talia Hall every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Just click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you stay up to date with content like this from the team you already trust.
Joshua Williams here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button and to follow all of our social media pages. Also, don't forget to push that notification button so that you can see all of the great content from the team you already trust.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead with Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging.
On this day in Bahamian history, in 2009, Senator Pleasant Bridgewater resigned a day after being charged with attempting to extort actor John Travolta following his son Jet's death in Freeport. Charges were dismissed in 2010 after Travolta declined to face a retrial. Then, in 2014, then Prime Minister Perry Christie was inducted into the International Civil Rights Walk of Fame in Atlanta, Georgia. And in 2022, in-person classes resumed nationwide for the first time since March 2020, with schools operating under strict health protocols due to COVID-19. Well, Bahamar has partnered with multi-Grammy and Oscar-winning musician to debut the John Baptiste Jazz Club. The official opening transported patrons to an era where you were serenaded by clever musicians and sultry vocalists. Our Danielle Miller was at the star-studded event and has this recap.
Pushing the boundaries of luxury, Bahama opens a new club that they promise is gonna be the cat's meow.
Last Friday, more than 200 local and international guests dazzled on a mega green carpet to celebrate the unveiling of the John Baptiste Jazz Club.
I think that's what life is all about. European, African, and jazz. You put it all together, that's really the mother of it all.
12,000 square feet of exceptional art pieces, collectibles, and decor that exude the jazz era.
I am just really thrilled to play, because that's, I think, what he and his crew are doing up there. They're really having fun and really creating in the moment and paying homage to the greats that have come before.
In addition to some of the biggest stars, there was also a former prime minister in the house.
Well, I love jazz. I sometimes came to the bar over there, and so I want to hear what this is all about tonight, and I'll be back.
While there was a lot of mixing and mingling, fanfare erupted once energetic musician John Baptiste made his grand entrance. With his signature dance moves, he made his way down the green carpet to tell me the importance of this moment.
That's the foundations in New Orleans and the Bahamas, but then you have everything else coming in and they create something that's never been seen or heard. is something new.
With that, it was showtime, giving us a bad performance from beginning to end, closing the show in the hotel lobby. Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Thanks, Denny. Well, to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. That does it for Our News at 7. Joining us now is our Talia Hall with the latest headlines. Happy Friday, Talia.
Happy Friday, Marlena. TGIF. Well, coming up, Grand Bahamas Straw Market vendors, say their livelihoods are impacted by the lack of business on the island. We have the full story and a massive cleanup of derelict vehicles in the capital. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30, just days into his second term, President Donald Trump is already tackling one of his central campaign promises, tightening the American border. Tonight, our Jerome Sawyer speaks to Bahamians attending the inauguration in Washington. Also, the voters have spoken. We have the latest details on who came out on top in the much-anticipated local government elections across the Family Islands. Plus, straw vendors on Grand Bahamas say reduced cruise schedules are crippling their livelihoods. They're calling on the powers that be to intervene. And later, a 16-year-old student didn't hesitate this week when he saw a woman trapped in an overturned vehicle. Our Delvado Emmanuel brings us the inspiring story of this young hero when Our News at 7:30 returns.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Sasha Lightborn here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow all of the Our News social media pages to make sure that you don't miss those top stories from the team you already trust.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Candino Notes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the Our News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
Once I had a gal, she called me pain. Left me in the cold and pouring rain. So I decided to put her down. I took a trip to Point Town.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Welcome to Our News. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. President Donald Trump wasting no time in fulfilling one of his key campaign promises, securing the American border and planned mass deportation of undocumented migrants. It was a key election issue that helped to push the second-term president ahead in the vote. Our Jerome Sawyer speaking with a few Bahamians about this and other policies of the new administration while attending the inauguration of the new president in Washington this week.
It was a feat few Republican candidates ever achieved.
To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come.
Minority voters turned out in unprecedented numbers for Trump in November. No surprise for Bahamian D.C. native Lavelle Saunders.
A lot of the issues that the Democrats had, whether it's around, different rights and opportunities and the DE&I program, really pissed a lot of people off. And you would think that it wouldn't, because those programs benefit, especially people of color.
Exit polling confirmed the growing migration crisis helped to swing voters in favor of President Trump. One of his first executive orders halted the federal Diversity, Equity and Inclusion program. It's among the litany of changes swept in by the new administration.
A lot of concern for some of the policies that's in place. How much it will impact me, I'm not sure. The reason why I say that is because I've worked hard. I have really good credentials when it comes to my experience, my education, and the opportunities that come my way. And so I think for the most part, there are a lot of good things that could come out of this for me.
For the last 40 years, Dr. Bert Williams has lived in the D.C., Maryland area. As a student and now physician, he's a product of legal migration.
I feel that if you're trying to access the country, I think it's no more than right to do it through the proper channels. Immigration is not a crime. The crime is if somebody tries to immigrate without doing it the appropriate way.
With few surprises, the Trump administration wasted no time in putting many of the plans and promises into play made on the campaign trail. The rest of the world, the Bahamas included, is in a watch, wait, and see pattern, eagerly anticipating what the effects will be beyond the American borders. In Washington, reporting for Our News, I'm Jerome Sawyer.
All right, thanks so much for that, Jerome. Well, the majority of results are in for local government elections. In a press conference Friday, officials from the Department of Public Service announced the outcomes while addressing low voter turnout, urging candidates to strengthen community engagement. As for the results of the 6,088 registered voters in Central Grand Bahama, only 1,220 participated. Marco Carey and Precious Thompson were elected. In Pine Ridge, 1,669 of 6,000 voters cast ballots, electing Clifton Francis and Edwin Strawn. In Marco City, Kendall Comer secured a third-term win alongside Samuel Grant and Ron Darville Jr. As for East Grand Bahama, Richard Adderley and Jordan Curry were chosen to represent the district. Now, we are still following this and we'll have more detailed results from the other family islands in Our News Weekend Edition. Straw vendors on Grand Bahama are up in arms tonight over what they say is a lack of business and tourists on the island. They say that the reduced schedule of a cruise ship has taken a toll on their livelihoods. They're calling on the powers that be to provide more opportunities to attract visitors.
Plenty times, sir. My children had to pay my rent because I wasn't making no money in the store. You had things in the store from Eric and Doreen. And no tourists there to buy them. Like she said, when Margaritaville was coming every other day, you could have looked to put food on your table.
The Margaritaville, a cruise ship which has served the island of Grand Bahama for over a decade, once provided weekly non-stop service several times a week between Freeport and West Palm Beach, Florida. However, the company has recently reduced the number of days it travels to Grand Bahama. Straw vendors in the Port Lacaya marketplace say the move is causing their businesses to suffer, making it difficult to cope financially.
When Margaritaville is in, you could feel, touch, smell, and count your money when you reach home, because that's a different feeling.
It goes into Nassau now, come to Grand Bahama. So when the people come off on the Margaritaville and come this way now, there's no need for them to shop with us.
Straw vendor Tanya Higgins, reflecting on the more prosperous years of the late 1990s and early 2000s in Freeport, she's now calling on the powers that be to secure another cruise ship from Florida to help revive business.
It's a hustle and it's very hard, and I'm not going to break down and I'm not going to give up. I'm in survival mode, okay? But until this hotel behind us open up, things will be better.
However, for these other straw vendors, they say the issue goes beyond the cruise ship.
If the casino was open, we would have been making money. Sometimes the guests come, they say, we're going to shop after we come from the casino. When they reach there and there's no casino, they fly by cursing, go into the taxi.
How come only when bad weather we get cruise people come this way? We just have to pray for bad weather. Do you think that's right in this industry?
We need help like yesterday, not tomorrow, like yesterday. We need grants, we need people coming this way, trickling. You know what it is? We actually see the tours passing us in the morning and we say, hi, we're here, and the tours do not stop.
Now we reached out to the Minister for Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxie, and Tourism Minister Chester Cooper for a response on the matter, but got no response up to news time. Well, a suspect in 3 murders was released from prison without an ankle monitor as a result of an oversight. Eltario Monroe was supposed to have his movements tracked while on bail for the October 29, 2021 murders of Kenneth Yulin, Gromiko Simonet, and Justin Cash, who were gunned down outside a house on Prison Lane. Monroe was initially tagged with an ankle monitor when he was released on bail for the murders, but he was sent back to prison in November 2023. Monroe was released from prison in April 2024 without an ankle monitor. The mistake came to light when Monroe appeared in the Supreme Court to have his bail conditions modified. Monroe sought an address change and curfew extension. When asked about his ankle bracelet, Monroe admitted that officials released him without putting one on. The court approved the bail but ordered Monroe detained until officials put on an ankle monitor. Well, prisoners at the Bahamas Department of Corrections will have the opportunity to have proper identifying documents after their release from prison. Representatives from the National Insurance, the Passport Office, and Road Traffic are just some of the agencies forming the Interagency Task Force. They met with prison leadership and National Security Minister Wayne Monroe this morning. With 98% of inmates at the facility set to be released at some point, BDOC's unit coordinator for the Fresh Start Identity Program, Corporal Glendale Miller, says they're seeking to help inmates who have had issues in the past.
We realized as they were being released and going back into society, we discovered that many of them were met with grave resistance because they weren't able to provide, for example, the filling out of applications for jobs and the opening of bank accounts. They did not have the essential documents to complete those applications, and so he saw the need to start a unit. And in March of 2024, the Fresh Start Identity Unit was officially launched.
Corporal Miller says this is one of the few ways to ensure convicts' lives are turned around.
I firmly believe that if rehabilitation is going to be a realized possibility in our country, there must be an embracing of our society. We must remove the barrier, the stigma, the discrimination that exists. And in order to do that, you have to trust us who work here. We are working along with these individuals. We have seen their improvements. We have seen the change. And the Fresh Start Identity Unit is that
Acting Customs Controller Ralph Monroe says the department is working to sort out outstanding issues with the union that represents officers. Monroe telling us they center on overtime and transportation payments. Back in December, Bahamas Customs, Immigration and Allied Workers Union President Duran Brooks said officers were owed outstanding payments dating back to April 2024. Today, Monroe explained that a shortage in the accounts department is causing a delay in payments.
We have always been addressing them, as we have said, time and time again. It is a matter of staff constraint. Staff can only produce so much. There's a lot of work that we have to do, and we haven't had the commensurate staff increase to keep up with it. But every single day we have people working overtime into the weekend simply to get the officers overtime and to get their transportation fee. As a matter of fact, next week, they're going to be paid, I think, for 2 months of last year, May and June, or June and July.
Earlier this month, when Trade Union Congress affiliate members took 2 days rest days, officers from the Customs Department were a part of the action. Monroe says very few officers called in, adding it had little impact on operations. With staff constraints in the Accounts Department, he had this to say.
There are a lot of challenges that we have. We're trying to work through to see how we can best address it. But unfortunately, as you would see, it is not moving quite as fast as we want. But it's not because we don't want it out. We really would like to have it out. And the situation, like I say, is going to be addressed. Maybe an increase in staff in the account section would be the solution to most of it.
All right, well, yesterday we told you about the courageous act of a high schooler who helped save a woman trapped in an overturned Jeep following a 3-car crash during rush hour traffic. Today, the 12th grader is being hailed as a hero. 16-year-old Michael Ferguson didn't think twice before springing into action, and his bravery has earned him a lot of praise. Our Delvado Emmanuel has the story.
That's the moment when 16-year-old Michael Ferguson rescued a woman trapped in an overturned Jeep. Now, the incident happened right here on Robertson Road and Grace Avenue. Now, Michael was on his way to school when he went from being a student to a hero, proving that heroes emerge when least expected.
The accident occurred shortly after 8 a.m. Ferguson, who was a Doris Johnson High School student, was waiting at the bus stop when he heard the sounds of screeching tires and saw the crash unfold. He decided to jump into action.
I went over there to see if the lady was okay. And as I see that she couldn't get over the car, the first thing I thought was if this lady in front of me, I ain't gonna feel the same. It could do something to me. So I took it upon myself to help the lady with the car, break the glass.
Our very own digital reporter Timmy Bain was one of the first people on the scene and got a first-hand view of Ferguson springing into action. It was a moment he was able to capture on camera.
My former co-worker, so I sat with her, so I waited with her for a little while till the ambulance came, called her bosses, and thankfully the police came and we were able to take everyone's statements and they got him safely.
Ferguson's courageous act left him with minor cuts to his hand, but it also left an impression on his principal, who praised him for his bravery.
He has always been one of those young men who always displayed maturity, and he's an example for the rest of our young men to follow.
Ferguson, who dreams of becoming a plumber and starting his own business, remains humble about his heroic act.
I had a lot of congratulations and good jobs and blessings. A lot of people pray to me and tell me God bless you and stuff like that. So I appreciate everyone. Keep a humble head, try to avoid crime, the other side of life. Try to avoid Fox Hill Prison. That's me.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
All right, such an inspiration. Well, temperatures are dipping just in time for your weekend plans. Wondering how long it will last? Well, meteorologist Greg Thompson is up now to tell you how long the cool spell will stick around. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and a happy TGIF, everybody. A very lovely weekend starting out for us. Temperatures starting to cool off as the front pushes into the central Bahamas. 72 degrees is our current temperature in the partly cloudy skies. It is breezy. The winds are out of the northwest at 17 miles per hour, making it feel like 70 degrees on the outside. Satellite radar composite, frontal boundary just to the south of the capital into the central Bahamas. Some cloudy conditions with a lot of moisture still plaguing that frontal boundary will plague the northwest Bahamas tonight through tomorrow, but we do expect some clearing as a high pressure system builds behind that. That's going to make it feel very breezy on the outside, but those cooler temperatures will be very nice for the weekend. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, the Department of Environmental Health Services and the Bain and Grandstown Urban Renewal Team join forces to remove scores of derelict vehicles from a community here in the capital. We have the full story when Our News continues. Stay with us.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola is ready to give you a summer of fun with over $20,000 in cash and prizes. Upgrade your premium lunch combo to a medium or a large, or purchase a large salad with a Coke for a chance to win amazing prizes. Like a 50-inch TV and soundbar, a staycation at Comfort Suites, or a $3,000 Going Places travel voucher. Enter online at Wendy's Bahamas Facebook page for a chance to win.
I love my EV. I am Generation E.
I am Generation E. I am Generation E.
And I am Generation E.
The Department of Environmental Health Services and the Bain and Grandstown Urban Renewal Team carried out a mass removal of derelict vehicles Thursday. The initiative began on Kenya Lane with the aim to improve public health and sanitation in the area. Deputy Chief Health Inspector with the Department of Environmental Health Services, Shanti Riches, shared why this work was crucial.
Derelict vehicle has posed a major environmental problem for the country over the years. It poses a threat in such that it aids in the breeding and harborage of vectors such as rodents, mosquitoes, and the like. It is also a major eyesore throughout these communities.
32 derelict vehicles were removed during the exercise. Since the start of 2004 to date, the department has removed more than 3,000 abandoned vehicles across New Providence. Repeat offenders have been put before the courts as well. Fines for harboring derelict vehicles could range from $500 and or possible jail time. Member of Parliament for Bain and Grandstown, Wade Watson, was present for the removal.
Sometimes we find that unlicensed firearms, discarding of drugs, or hiding drugs in these derelict vehicles and so on and so forth. So the removal of these derelict vehicles is important to our community. It's important to me as a member of Parliament. And I would like to encourage our constituents to maintain, once these vehicles and this effort has been exhausted, to maintain the area so that we can have a clean and pristine.
When our news comes back from the break, a refreshing drop in temperatures just in time for the weekend. But will this nice weather stick around? Greg has your extended forecast coming up.
Coming up in sports, we prepare for the final window of FIBA AmeriCup qualification, an update from UB Athletics, and of course, your top plays of the week.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Unleash resilience. Secure the digital future. Navigate the evolving landscape of cyber threats. The future will be secured. Presenting the Alive Business Cybersecurity Conference.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Martinet. Let's do show. The Bahamas senior men's national basketball team is set to return to the court next month, this time with FIBA AmeriCup 2025 qualification on the line. Up first will be what Federation executives are calling a must-win game against Cuba in Group D on Thursday, February 20th at 8:40 p.m. In Game 2, the Bahamas faces the United States Sunday, February 23rd at 7:10 p.m. Both games will be hosted at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium. Tickets for next month's games are currently on sale. Follow the BBF social media pages for prompts on how you can get yours today. The Bahamas heads into the final window with a 1-3 record. Their lone win of the qualifiers thus far was an 88-77 win in the first window against Puerto Rico. The USA leads Group D at 3-1, followed by Puerto Rico at 2-2, and Cuba third, also at 2-2. Only the top 3 teams in Group D will advance to the FIBA AmeriCup to be hosted in Managua, Nicaragua in August.
UB Athletics pick up a pair of wins on the volleyball court and on the soccer pitch.
The Mingos continued their women's volleyball showcase with a 3-set sweep over the Midnight Aces. UB won the match 25-12, 26-24, and 25-20 at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium. The Mingos got their first win of the showcase and are now 1-3. Leading the way for UB was Miracle Stubbs with 11 attacking points and 10 of her team's 30 kills. Hannah McBride also had 8 kills, while Savannah Etienne led the Aces with 5 kills. The showcase continues Tuesday, January 28th, when the Mingos face the Spikers at 7 p.m. In soccer, the Mingos came out of the Christmas break with a 7-0 win over Cavalier FC at the Roscoe Davies soccer fields. Midfielder Kevin Thomas led UB with a hat-trick. Philip Pilgrim, Ronaldo Green, Elijah Mitchell, and Marlon Barnes also scored goals, while goalkeeper Antonio Beckford kept the clean sheet. UB is now 6-2 in the BFA Men's League standings. They return to action this Saturday, January 26th against Future Stars FC at 4:45 p.m.
It's Friday. You don't have to hear from that one co-worker for at least 2 days. Celebrate with top plays of the week. Let's get started at 5 at the Corky Classic in Lubbock, Texas. Antoine Andrews runs 7.52 seconds in the 60-meter hurdles to set a new school record and a top 5 time in the NCAA this season.
At number 4, Brent Moss, JUCO National Player of the Week, has been dominant for Barton this season, looking for back-to-back titles.
At 3, back to the Corky Classic, Florida's Wanya McCoy wins the 60 in 6.53 seconds, a new personal best and 3rd all-time in Gator history.
At number 2, the basketball player I always believed in, VJ Edgecombe, drops a career high in a win over K-State. A reminder to update your travel plans for the NBA draft.
And at number 1, here at home, the ageless wonder Tim Munnings, with no concept of time because he plans on doing this forever, a new Masters record in the 400 meters, 52.04 seconds. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. All right, it's a month away. Have people started harassing you about the national team roster yet?
Is the sky blue?
Take that as a yes, or maybe. Back to the studio.
When our news comes back from the break, get your sweaters out and enjoy the cooler conditions while they last in the capital. Greg is back with your extended weather when our news returns. Stay with us.
Good, my loyal viewers. Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Just click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you stay up to date with content like this from the team you already trust.
Joshua Williams here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button and to follow all of our social media pages. Also, don't forget to push that notification button so that you can see all of the great content from the team you already trust.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead with Cable Bahamas Business.
This is our news. Welcome back. Frontal boundary now into the central Bahamas. A lot of moisture behind that front plaguing the northwest Bahamas, so we're looking at some partly cloudy to cloudy skies. But all of that will be clearing out as a very strong high-pressure system builds in behind that front, and that's going to continue to provide us with some nice cooler temperatures, but the winds will be picking up, so beaching and boating will become a hazardous choice for the weekends. We're asking you boaters, or strongly advising you, not to get into the waters, and you beachgoers to avoid getting into the waters as well. Future forecast showing the moisture associated with that frontal boundary pushing towards the south and east. Falling apart, the front is going to pull out towards the eastern way from us. Most of the moisture will stay into the open Atlantic, and a high pressure system will once again dominate our weather for the weekend. Boating forecast, not a good idea to get in the waters. Be asking you boaters and you beachgoers to avoid getting into the waters, especially the Atlantic. North to northeast winds, 20 to 25 knots, so we have a near gale watch in effect for the entire chain. 6 to 9 foot seas expected, but building up to 11 feet in north to northeasterly swells. Low tide is at 9:42 tonight. Your high tide takes place at 4:21 in the morning. For the central and southeast Bahamas, small craft advisory for you down there as well. Northeasterly winds, 15 to 25 knots. They will be gusting higher times, 5 to 8 foot seas, and those seas will be higher in gusts. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In your extended forecast, we'll keep some clouds around for Saturday. Low clouds and windy conditions possible on Sunday. Temperatures will be very nice. They will be in the low 70s tomorrow, get into the mid 70s on Sunday, and then we start climbing back to near the 80-degree mark for the early part of next week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night. Have a great weekend, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Greg, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening. Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.